Yes, welcome back to the program. Now we're joined online by attorney Zahir Umar, and you are watching this on our Facebook page as well as on our YouTube channel. It's also streaming out on Salam Media across the satellite and online platform, and out in Durban on the broadcast waves of Al Ansar in Durban and Peter Maritzburg. Now, the reason why we are chatting to attorney Zahir Umar, let's just look at the write up here in the Citizen newspaper online. The High Court has ruled that government's lockdown regulations are not legal, but they will nevertheless remain in place for at least the next 14 days. A government spokesperson, Pumla Williams, said last night that government had taken note of the judgment delivered by the Gauteng division of the High Court, declaring the Alert Level 4 and Alert Level 3 lockdown regulations unconstitutional and invalid. At the heart of all of this is a group of people called the Liberty Fighters Network, the Hola Bona Renaissance Foundation, and attorney Reino de Beer, and as well as attorney Zahir Umar. Assalamu alaikum, attorney Zahir. Welcome to the program.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
It's wonderful to be able to see you on the other side, attorney Zahir. Now, tell us your role in this court judgment that has come. Are you pleased at it, firstly, and what role did you play?
As that I was the attorney and the advocate, I'm an attorney with rights of appearance for the Liberty Freedom Network. And as that this whole problem started with the masjids. You remember when Jamaat, Salah with Jamaat was completely banned. Now it is for 50 people. And this really troubled and disturbed us. So the Liberty Freedom Network came to me and asked me for my help. And I said, look, the Liberty Freedom that the freedom of movement to worship were all being denied to the South African people in a manner which was clearly unconstitutional. The reason for this is because Section 36 of the Code provides that none of the rights in the Bill of Rights, Chapter 2, shall be limited, restricted, or denied unless it is done in terms of the Constitution. And Section 37 of the Constitution provides that the rights protected in the Bill of Rights in Chapter 2 can only be restricted, limited, or denied if a state of emergency is declared. So I went to court and I argued these, amongst others, I argued this point here. And the court found that these regulations were irrational and arbitrary. Now, for example, the court found that people are permitted on a promenade at the beach, but not permitted on the beach. And that is the height of irrationality. Then the court also commented on the reason why barbers, hairdressers, and restaurants are closed, while other business entities are open. So this whole lockdown, Azhar, was prompted by a knee-jerk, hysterical reaction, which resulted in regulations being made that are arbitrary and irrational and which have the effect of destroying the economy permanently. We had police brutality inflicted on people. We had people being denied the right to give food to others who wanted food. The whole situation was a very, very untenable and unacceptable. And the ruling from the court has restored our sense of constitutionality in the international community.
Now, attorney Zahir, many have said that you have been vindicated with this court ruling. And they are saying that initially you came under immense pressure as you took the masjid case on board, and that one perhaps didn't go your way. Do you feel that you have now been able to prove yourself and in the court of law what you were saying from the beginning?
Look, as my experience with my arrears, etc., that is really irrelevant to the proceedings that culminated in the lockdown that are unconstitutional. But what is also very interesting is that there are hundreds, if not thousands of people who were arrested and were charged under regulations which a court now has found to be unconstitutional. Parliament is given 14 days, and we have to wait and see how the system is going to work, because it is most anomalous for to be charged for the commission of a crime in terms of a law that a court found to be unconstitutional, and then Parliament must later review it and then revisit these regulations and re-implement it. So as far as the criminal charges are concerned, as if this is going to create a huge, massive jurisprudential problem for the government.
Mhm. And if we look at the issue of the masjid, and I hope Attorney Zahir is still there with us, it seems to have fallen away. But if you can hear the question, Attorney Zahir, what we're
No, I'm
asking
here.
is that, yes, okay. The
I'm
question
here.
that I'm asking is uh, the issue around the masjids and the opening of religious places of prayer, whether they are the churches, because they are also affected by this, temples and synagogues. Uh, the ruling, does it now apply to this? Does the ruling say that the closure of religious places of worship were also unconstitutional, as is the walking on the beach, perhaps, or other facets that you covered?
As the judge found to be unconstitutional and unlawful, and the judge referred the whole matter back to Parliament and ordered Parliament to correct, review, and revise all the regulations within 14 days. So we have the situation now where a court has found all these regulations to be unlawful, but the judge suspended his order until he visits what he found to be unlawful. But the situation is very untenable.
Hmm. And the government will obviously have the ministers and their legal team will have the opportunity to look at this ruling and then decide whether they want to take it to another court. What would be the legal procedure there onwards? And are you going to be going forward and challenging if they take it to, say, the Constitutional Court?
As well, look, the government will have to apply for leave to appeal. Now, to apply for leave to appeal in the face of a judge having found that the government acted irrationally and arbitrarily will be very difficult, because the government will have to apply for leave to appeal, and the government will have to persuade the very same judge that the judge erred in finding that the regulations were done arbitrarily and irrationally. So the government will have a huge hurdle to overcome. So the chances of the government applying leave to appeal or succeed is very, very remote.
Mhm. Now, let's look at a practical situation here, right, Attorney Zaire, and it may have ramifications in many people's lives, as you said, that were arrested and detained. Uh, People were stopped from entering the masjid. They were pulled out. We saw many cases of that on video, and many people were fined on the roads for traffic violations that suddenly came up. They may have had five in a car when they're only supposed to have three or four in the car, whatever it is, taxis and so forth. Those monies that were now collected by government, by people paying those admission of guilt fines, or whatever it was classified as, what would happen to those funds and the money? Do you think there's a chance that people will get refunded if those actions by the police are now deemed to be illegal?
As it goes without saying that if Parliament confirms that some or more of the regulations are indeed unconstitutional, then all those people who paid fines will have to be refunded. All the people who paid any fines pursuant to having contravened or to have been alleged to have contravened regulations must be refunded.
Mhm. Finally, Attorney Zahir, in closing, are there any words, or your final sentiments regarding this particular matter and the ruling of the court?
As if, you know, all praise is due to Allah. Now, you can't sit in a country where the right to worship and the right to pray is protected and denied at the same time. Look, man, you don't tell a Muslim, we give you the right to perform Salah in Jamaat, and then deny it and expect the Muslim to keep quiet. The Muslim in the country will use all lawful means to resist. And I stepped into this affray with the first case before Judge Fisher, now with the case before Judge Davis. This was all, the center of all this was my being troubled and offended at being denied to perform Juma Salah in Jama. That's it.
Mhm. Attorney Zahir Umar, Jazakallah
So,
khair, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We really
Thank
appreciate it that you've given us the opportunity to speak to you. You go well. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
wa salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.